And the Oscar goes to...
What happened? What happened? Hey, Marty. Hey, Marty. Hey, Marty. What happened with you?
What happened? He was in a great movie, that's what. Produced by Heck Lancaster, a popular 1950s production company run by agent Harold Hecht and actor Burt Lancaster, Marty is one of only 3 films, as of 2020, to win both Best Picture and the top prize at the Cannes Film Festival. The others being 1945's The Lost Weekend and 2019's Parasite, which we'll get to in about 80 years at this rate. With color films becoming more dominant on the big screen, Marty marked the last time, as of 2020, that 2 black and white films run in a row. Our aspect ratio adventure continues, as Marty, like On the Waterfront the year before, is a contender for the first widescreen Best Picture winner. As you can see, the footage I'm showing you now is in the then more traditional 1:33:1 box aspect ratio, though the true standard was 1:37:1. Hollywood was well into the transition to the 1:85:1 widescreen ratio by 1955, but I could see why director Delbert Mann would want the smaller, intimate human ratio capable with 1:33:1. Turns out, though, that the film may not have been shot with that in mind, or at least with that as the preferred ratio. Around 58% of US cinemas transitioned to widescreen by 1953, only 10 months after the release of The Robe, the movie that kicked off the whole thing, even if it wasn't really the first widescreen movie ever made. While there were obviously some exceptions, like 1953's From Here to Eternity, which was shot 1:37:1 by preference of its director, by September 1954, studios knew the 1:37:1 format was dead. Add to that Delbert Mann visiting the set of the 1954 widescreen film Vera Cruz to study the new aspect ratio, and cinematographer Joseph Laschall, and I'm sorry for mispronouncing that, already being well versed in widescreen films, it's hard not to believe the promotional material of the time stating the film was intended to be 1:85:1. If Mann and Laschall truly preferred 1:85:1, then I hope that version is released someday. For now, the 1:33:1 is the version we have. Based on a 51-minute, 1953 live teleplay by Paddy Chayefsky, which starred On the Waterfront's Rod Steiger in the title role, our story follows Marty, played by Ernest Borgnine this time, a 34-year-old New York butcher who can't find love. He's the last of his 5 siblings to be single, and everybody gets on him about when he's going to get married. Marty's been hurt enough, but his mother, whom he still lives with, will have none of it.
You're gonna die without a son.
So I'll die without a son.
Oh, Marty, put on the blue suit, huh?
Blue suit, gray suit. I'm just a fat little man, a fat, ugly man.
You're not ugly.
I'm ugly, I'm ugly, I'm ugly.
Marty.
Ma, leave me alone. Ma, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? I'm miserable enough as it is. All right, so I'll go to the Stardust Ballroom. I'll put on a blue suit and I'll go. And you know what I'm going to get for my trouble? Heartache. A big night of heartache.
Marty goes out to a dance hall with his friend Angie, played by Joe Mantle. At the hall, he gets to talking to the 29-year-old Claire, played by Betsy Blair, after she gets dumped by her date. The two spend the night together, talking, connecting, and falling for each other. Meanwhile, Marty's aunt, played by Augusta Chiali, and again, I'm sorry for mispronouncing that, is living with Marty's sister, played by Karen Steele, and her husband, played by Jerry Parrish, and is making their lives miserable. Marty's mother agrees to ask her sister to come live with her and Marty. The aunt says yes, but plants seeds of doubt in her sister's head.
What are you gonna do if Marty gets married? Huh? What are you gonna cook? Where's all the children playing in all the rooms? Where's the noise? It's a curse to be a widow. A curse. What are you gonna do if Marty gets married? What are you gonna do?
I don't like the mother subplot. It helps bring the film to feature length, and it adds some needed tension in the film's last act, but I don't think the film being shorter would have been a bad thing. All the subplot does is hurt Marty's chances of getting with Claire, but it's so contrived in a film that thrives on being everyday, true, and relatable.
He's gonna say to you, hey, Ma, why do we need this old house? Why don't we sell this old house and move in a nicer part of town? Nicer little apartments.
12 seconds later.
Boy, this place is really coming to pieces. You know, I think we ought to sell this place.
One of the reasons I love the film so much is because, for the most part, it doesn't try to jazz things up with Hollywood elements that rarely happen to real people. Marty and Claire don't happen to get mugged that night. Someone doesn't die in a convenient way that prevents Marty from getting with Claire immediately. There isn't a misunderstanding that could be solved in 5 seconds if the characters talk to each other. The movie's just two people going on a date. That's it. If Chayefsky could have somehow added more conflict in the last act in a way that was truer to that very simple aesthetic, the film would be much better and even more special. But deeper messages give the film its weight. Marty is 34. He's not old, though to be fair he would have been older by 1955 standards, but he's at the age where most of us would have or would like to have our lives figured out. He's at the age where lots of people who are interested in such things have settled down and are married with children. Marty's not there yet, with any of it. He's working a job he enjoys, but when he was younger, it was clearly not where he saw himself being when he reached his mid-30s, nor is it something he wants to do forever. He dreams bigger, but he's hesitant to take the chance.
Mr. Terry wants to sell his shop now because, well, it's a nice little shop. I handle his books for him, so I know he has a 35% markup, which is not unreasonable.
Marty, it's my feeling that you really want to buy this shop.
Well, that's true, I do. But it means I got to take a loan out in the bank of $8,000. Well, it's a big note to carry.
He also wants to have someone to share the journey, but no one will have him because of his looks. Claire's in a similar boat. She has the chance to reach higher, but she's afraid to step out and do it, and no one will take her because she isn't conventionally attractive.
Of course, it is a fine opportunity for me. I could never hope to be the head of a department in the New York City system, especially not in the science courses. Of course, I'm not sure I want to be a department head. It's mostly executive and administrative work. On the other hand, well, anyway, I told you about my father, and, well, he depends on me a great deal.
Together, Marty and Clara lift each other up to something better by connecting and encouraging the others to be brave.
Sometimes one of my kids comes in to see me about something or other, and some of these kids, Marty, in my classes, they have so much warmth and so much capacity. Well, that's the feeling I have about you. If you were one of my students, I'd say to you, go ahead and buy the butcher shop. You're a good butcher.
I used to think about leaving home, you know. And that's what I used to say. My mother needs me. But when you really come down to it, that ain't it at all. We're just afraid to go out on our own. Oh, I mean, it's a big step when you go out on your own. And, well, I think you're kidding yourself when you say your father needs you. Actually, you need your father. You know what I mean? Well, you know what I mean. You're living home now, and you got your father and mother there, and, well, you could go on like that being a little girl all your life.
We sympathize with them because we can tell they form a quick bond and understand each other. They make each other laugh, feel good, and, most importantly, they're happy together. And it 100% works. It works because their problems are most of our problems at some point in life when we're disappointed with our past, worried about our future, and sad about our present. The reason this film works over so many others I've seen, and I do have a low tolerance for bad or lazy movie romances, is because the film actually gives the couple time and reasons to fall for each other. They don't just love because the script says so, which is too often the case in stories of any medium. Chayefsky's script succeeds because he highlights an element usually overlooked in on-screen romances. Talking. They talk with that overwhelmed giddiness that happens when we meet someone we truly connect with.
Boy, am I talking. Excuse me. I never talked so much in all my life. Usually everybody comes up to me and tells me all their troubles. Well, I'm going to shut up now and let you get a word in. Yeah, 17 years ago. What I've been doing myself all that time. Well, there I go again. I must be driving you crazy. Most of the time I'm with a girl, I can't find a word to say. Well, I'm going to shut up now and let you get a word in. Because usually I'm not like this. Usually There I go again. I can't stop talking. I'm on a jag, for Pete's sake. You'd think I was loaded. Well, anyway, like I started to say, I can't stop my mouth. Isn't this stupid? You got a real nice face, you know? Really a nice face.
Thank you.
They laugh together.
So I'm in a kneeling position. If you ever try shooting a BAR in a kneeling position, you know what I mean. I can't hold a steady position. I'm wavering back and forth. So the guy next to me, he's shooting from a prone position, and he's cross-eyed like I told you. So just then, I hear 5 shots go off from the guy next to me. My target goes down. A minute later, the flag comes up. I got 5 bullseyes. That's how I got the reputation of being the best shot in the whole battalion.
And they spend all hours of the night together until they start talking personally and deeply about themselves.
So when I got out of the army, Clara, I was lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was 25 years old. What was I going to do, go back to my old job, 40 cents an hour? I thought maybe I'd go to college under the GI Bill of Rights, you know? But my brother Freddie, he wanted to get married. I had 3 unmarried sisters. In an Italian house, that's a terrible thing. So I just went to pieces.
It's impossible not to see ourselves in them and their struggles to find a better life path and someone to walk it with. Oh, and the movie is also really good at capturing the awkwardness of dating.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you why I called. I was figuring on taking in a movie tonight, and I was wondering if you and your friend would care to see a movie tonight with me and my friend. Yeah, tonight. Well, I know it's a little late to call for a date, but I didn't know myself to... Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, what about... Well, how about next Saturday night? Are you free next Saturday night? Well, what about the Saturday after that? Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I understand it. Yeah.
Besides the mother subplot, the only thing I hate about the film is this moment where Marty, many hours into his date, takes Claire to his mother's house before dropping her off at her apartment.
No, Marty, please.
I like you. I like you. I've been telling you all night I like you.
Marty.
All I want's a little kiss.
No.
Please.
No.
Please.
No, Marty.
All right, I'll take you home. All I wanted was a lousy kiss. Do you think I was going to try something serious? My mother coming home any minute?
Thankfully, the film doesn't try to excuse Marty's actions here, but it leaves a slight bad taste in the mouth. The movie's other qualities more than make up for it. Marty will leave you hopeful and overwhelmed with joy, because it's never too late to fall in love and do what makes us happy. It just takes some of us longer to get there.
What happened? What happened? Hey, Marty. Hey, Marty. Hey, Marty, what happened with you? Saturday we had a party. A party. Frankie and Lou, everybody but you. Where was your Thursday? Hey, Marty. Hey, Marty. Hey, Marty, for our bowling game. It seems like a year since we chugged a mug of beer. Hey, Marty, you must have a dame, a dame. Hey, Marty, you must have a dame. Must have a dame.
Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed all that. Please let me know what you thought about the review and the movie in the comments below. If you liked the episode, please hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. A link to my film blog can be found in the description below, and you can also find me on Twitter at CinemaPackRat.